Maybe. All right, welcome here on KM Activities, your home for the Comets, and I'm Joel McCall, and this is kind of unusual. We don't normally do an interview at like 12:30 in the afternoon, but we're getting it done today with Mel Ferris. She is the Kasson Mantorville director, and they just had their, was it a musical or play? I can't remember, Mel.
High school play this time, not the musical.
Okay, yeah, high school play just took place, the Radium Girls. How did things go? Because you actually performed this just, what, a weekend ago or two?
Yeah, just this past weekend. So we did 3 performances for a very small audience, and we recorded the performances so that we can stream them and people can buy tickets and watch the stream from the comfort and security of their own home.
Yeah, how many were actually in this?
How many students?
Yeah.
We had 20 students acting and then 8 students in the crew. This is the first time that we've had an all-student crew. So Cody did a really great job of training everybody how to do things. We had a student running the microphones who had never done that before. We had students running spotlights, sound effects, one student handling all of the projections that we did. We actually took headlines from the actual newspapers of the time, and Cody turned them into projections, and then we had a student handling that aspect of it. So it was a very, very intense play, given that we really could have used an entire backstage crew, but due to limitations on the numbers of people that we could have involved in any particular place, the actors had to do all of their own crewing, which was a little bit of an unusual experience for some of them.
Yeah,
it went great.
I was going to say, yeah, I wanted to ask about that too. And how was it rehearsing as well? Because you probably couldn't have all 20 on the stage at once, right?
No, and that's part of why I picked this play. It was originally designed to be performed by 9 or 10 actors, and there are, I think, somewhere in the vicinity of 35 characters in the play. So you can cast as many as 35 people, or as was the case here, we cast the maximum within the MSHSL guidelines for indoor activities. And then because the play was designed to be performed by a minimum of 9 actors, you only have up to 9 people on stage at any given time. So the hardest part of it was blocking a couple of the scenes, trying to maximize the distance between the actors. And then the most awkward scene is probably the romance scene, because they can't really even touch each other, much less kiss like they're supposed to. So, little improvisation here and there.
Well, what is Radium Girls? What was the play about?
Sure. The Radium Girls were women, mostly aged about 14 through probably early 20s, who worked for a company called US Radium back during World War I. A doctor or a scientist named Sabin von Sashaki invented a paint that used radium and zinc, and this paint is what made watches and airplane dials and all of those things glow in the dark back then. And radium was considered to be like this miracle cure because it could shrink tumors and help cure cancer. So at the time, it was this substance that everybody just thought was a miracle substance, and it was used in literally everything that people could afford to put it in. There was irradiated water that was supposed to give you vitality and make you feel better, called Radathor. There were radium skincare products, radium lipstick, radium eyeshadow, just all kinds of things. But these women were told to point their paintbrushes. So I just happen to have one here. So they were told to take their paintbrushes and point them on their lips after they dipped it in the radium paint to get a really fine point, so that when they went to paint these tiny dials and the tiny lines, there would be the finest point possible. And you're talking dials about that big. And as a result, they ingested enough paint to kill several hundred people over the course of their lives altogether. So when they all started dying of these mysterious illnesses, like one, her jawbone rotted out so bad in her mouth that when the dentist went to pull her last tooth, he literally lifted her jawbone out of her mouth while she was alive. Just out it came. Yeah, they died very horrible deaths, but they attempted to sue the company. this story is sort of a foundation of modern industrial hygiene and occupational safety and health law, which is something that's important to me because I'm a retired OSHA lawyer. So long story short, they ultimately found someone to help them sue the employer and get some compensation for their injuries. But it's an absolutely fascinating case. It's fascinating what the company was able to get away with, not only in the New Jersey plant, but in New York and in Illinois and in Connecticut and in all these other locations. So the play is a nice 2-hour summary of the New Jersey case. But once you watch the play, I highly encourage everyone to go check the book out of the library, Radium Girls, because the book is excellent.
Yeah, I was going to say that just sounds like an amazing story overall. Mm-hmm. Well, how about your cast? Who was all portrayed in this?
Well, hopefully I'm not going to leave anybody out. We had a really great cast. Olivia Smith was playing Grace Fryer, who was the lead plaintiff, sort of the lead Radium girl driving the lawsuit. Rachel Tuma and Molly Bartz played her two friends that she worked with. Gabe Bungham plays Arthur Reeder, who is the president ultimately of US Radium and who has to grapple with the fact that his product might be making these workers sick and what impact that's going to have on their lives. Julia Christensen plays Mr. Reeder's wife. Brooklyn Redding plays Mr. Reeder's daughter. Greta Wright plays multiple characters. She plays Dr. Frederick Flynn, and she plays a board member and a shop owner, I believe. Start running through the list. I'm going to forget someone and I'll feel terrible. Lucy Anderson plays Madame Curie. Megan Geesey plays Society Woman. Anna Olson plays Miss Wiley, who was the head of the Consumers League, which was one of the groups that helped the girls find a lawyer. Alex Burrish plays said lawyer, Mr. Barry. Cullen Sancher played the lawyer for the company, and a couple of other roles that I'm not going to tell you because they're very funny. Caden Beliveau plays another one of the company executives and another very funny character. Oh dear. Taylor Godbout played Dr. Neff and a couple of other characters. And Mackenzie Holtz played several characters because of the way that the show is written with 35 characters, 20 actors. But the one that she played that I was the most proud of was she plays the judge. And she did such a great job. It kind of was like, ooh, I feel like I'm back in court again with this judge yelling at me. I hope like crazy that I am not forgetting anybody without having their names in front of me. So if I did, guys, I am sorry, but you all gave wonderful performances. And you know I believe that.
Yeah, I definitely do. I heard the reviews. I didn't get a chance. Obviously, I didn't get a chance to go and see it.
Right.
So I want to know how I'm going to be able to see this thing.
Well, you can see it by going to kmdrama.anywhereseat.com. And when you go to that link, it will give you your choice of 3 performances that you can stream in the comfort of your own home. The performances are November 6th, 7th, and 8th. So the 6th and the 7th are Friday and Saturday. It'll start streaming at 7 p.m. And then the Sunday show will stream at 2 so that we can all have a little bit of drama normalcy in our lives. Tickets are $8. And I guess kind of the beauty for the consumer is that you can cram as many people as can see your monitor while you're watching the show for an $8 ticket. I think that there is also going to be available a donate button while the show is streaming. So if people feel like they want to support the Drama Booster Club, that's where those donations will go. And we will welcome any donations we can get. The Booster Club helps get the show on the road, but also as importantly, they provide scholarships for senior students who are headed off to college. So we'd like to be able to continue to do that this year.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and you usually have such a big audience.
Yes.
You know, and that's the way you guys really get your funding for this. So I understand the different avenues that you had to take just to get the show done for one, and now you have to stream it or have the availability to stream it so people can see it.
Well, and I want to give a shout out again. Cody rented we rented professional cameras to shoot the show, and Cody's editing the whole thing together, choosing like the best scenes from each night, so that we can present the best of all three performances for folks to view. And it's just one of those amazing shows that it kind of came together. From a technical perspective, very smoothly compared to some shows we've done in the past. But it's been a very interesting and educational experience, and I'm glad we did it. Just because so many things can go wrong during a live stream, and sort of pulling a Hamilton and recording multiple performances and blending the best of it together really is going to give people a unique experience.
Yeah, and that's what people want. They want to see it. I mean, you have so many people that wanted to go, couldn't go. It was mainly just parents of those that were in, right? And so, well, you've got the streaming coming. That's in another week. How about what else is coming up for the drama club? Because I'm sure people were kind of wondering, okay, well, they did a play now, but what about a musical? What's going on for that?
Well, so much depends on everything else that's going on in the world. The next thing that will happen, hopefully, knock wood, is the one-act play. I am reconsidering the title that I had chosen because I picked another very heavy, very depressing, very serious play for one act. And after doing this very heavy, very depressing, very serious, but excellent play, I don't want to discourage people from watching it. The kids and I kind of felt like we need a little levity, so we're looking for something funny. And then hopefully come the last weekend in April and the first weekend in May, we will be able to do our all-school musical, which is Honk. And Honk is a musical retelling of The Ugly Duckling. It's a wonderful, wonderful show.
Awesome. Yeah, let's hope that things can go well for that. As you said, the one-act play, too. We don't exactly know what you're going to be able to do on that either, because you have to kind of go by the guidelines with the Minnesota High School League. So, yeah, things are still up in the air. But can you give us that website again, and then the date for when you're streaming the Radium Girls?
Sure. So Radium Girls is streaming Friday, November 6th at 7 p.m., Saturday, November 7th at 7 p.m., and Sunday, November 8th at, I need to double check it here because, 2 p.m. It does say 2 p.m. I just can't read. And the ticket link is kmdrama.anywhereseat, which is ANYWHERESEAT, all one word, .com. So kmdrama.anywhereseat.com. And that will take you right to the live stream platform. Buy your ticket in advance, because what happens is they send you out a code and a link, and you just click the link, you enter your code, and you get to watch the show. Streaming our performance from the Minnesota Wi-Fi Performing Arts Center.
Yeah, and people can have their popcorn and right there in their living room.
Exactly. All the things that you can't do when you're actually in the Minnesota Wi-Fi Performing Arts Center, like eating and drinking, you can do that in your own living room while you watch the show, and no one's going to turn and say, shh. So.
Well, congratulations on getting Radium Girls done and the success that I heard. Can't wait to watch it. Mel, thank you so much for joining me on the Google Meet. Appreciate it very much here on KM Activities.
No worries. Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah, no problem. That's Mel Ferris. Then again, our interviews for this week are done. We do have volleyball coming up tonight. That will be up at Zumbrota Mazeppa here on KM Activities. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Joel McCall.